All episodes of A Trial by Podcast are for informational and entertainment purposes only. Much to their parents' dismay, neither host is a lawyer, journalist, or investigator. Just two people with microphones and Wi-Fi. All actions discussed are alleged, and all parties are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. For the full legal mumbo-jumbo, check the show notes.
It's the Smucker's Uncrustables podcast with your host, Uncrustables. Okay, today's guest is rough around the edges. Please welcome Crust.
Thanks for having me.
Today's topic, he's round with soft, pillowy bread.
Hey.
Filled with delicious PB&J.
Are you talking about yourself?
And you can take him anywhere.
Why'd you invite?
And we are out of time.
Are you really cutting me off?
Uncrustables are the best part of the sandwich. Sorry, Crust.
Hey, Fidelity. What's it cost to invest with the Fidelity app?
Start with as little as $1 with no account fees or trade commissions on U.S. stocks and ETFs.
That's music to my ears.
I can only talk.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Zero account fees apply to retail brokerage accounts only. Sell order assessment fee not included. A limited number of ETFs are subject to a transaction-based service fee of $100. See full list at fidelity.com/commissions. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
This episode is brought to you by GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco. Get the most out of your vehicle with GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco original equipment. The only parts designed, engineered, tested, and backed by General Motors. You can find your perfect fit for most makes and models and choose from 3 tiers of parts, including GM OE or gold and silver aftermarket parts. Visit gmparts.com for more information.
I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Emily.
And this is A Trial by Podcast. Okay, I have some biz nasty to cover today.
Cool, I can pick the fucking Fritos out of my teeth while you're doing that.
Perfect. So if you guys hear any ASMR while I'm talking, you know what it is. So first of all, we got an email from a girl named Jacqueline, and I'm so mad at myself because I accidentally archived it, which I thought would save it in a special folder so I could come back to it. And I cannot find it again. I don't know where it went. I hate Gmail. I don't know why I chose Gmail. I'm an Outlook girly through and through.
Same.
And the fact that I picked Gmail for the podcast, I don't know why I did that to myself. And it's actual trash. Gmail's trash.
My personal email is still at Hotmail, which Hotmail's done no longer. It's all at Outlook now, isn't it? Yeah.
Is Hotmail the old version of Outlook? Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't even know that.
Fun fact.
Yeah, so Jacqueline, I saw your email. It said something along the lines of this. Guys, I love this email. I showed Emily over the weekend when I saw it at first. It was like, hi, my name's Jacqueline. I'm 14 and I really love your podcast. And it made me want to be an investigative journalist. And I was thinking that, maybe I could start my own podcast to get some experience for my investigative journalism career. Do you have any advice? And I was like literally sitting on this because I'm like, I'm going to write an essay for this girl. First of all, Jacqueline, love you. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. I'm so excited for you. I am a little concerned that you're listening to our podcast at 14. I hope your mom knows and she doesn't hate us, or your guardian, whoever your guardian may be. But I don't think we're that bad.
I would give us a solid PG-13.
I feel like 14-year-olds are saying inappropriate stuff, and
way
I don't
more
think it's
inappropriate us.
And I was definitely watching true crime stuff by 14 for sure. So Jacqueline, my advice for starting a podcast, now that I got to it, I don't remember what I was going to say. My number one thing is making sure that your audio quality is good. You don't have to spend thousands to do it that way, but that's the number one thing is if people turn on a podcast and the audio quality is bad, they're going to turn it right off. Number 2, realizing that it's a lot of work and doing it in a way that you can keep up with so it's still fun and enjoyable for yourself. And I'm going to think of more ideas here. So Jacqueline, if you're out there, send me another email so I can respond to you. I'll sit and write out some tips and stuff because I feel like I've learned a lot. So yeah, but thank you for the email.
Her email's been lost to the Gmail trenches.
Yeah, it's gone. I looked through my phone and I looked on the browser and I can't figure it out. Oh, Biz Nasty number 2. There's only 3, so don't worry, guys. Biz Nasty number 2. True crime trivia night. So if you guys are local to the Cleveland area or you live nearby, We are doing a true crime trivia night on Thursday, September 11th.
Another one.
We did a couple last year. We did, I think, 2 last year.
Mm-hmm.
They were so much fun. My friend Ed runs the trivia nights. So
We
it's
love
at
Ed.
a local bar in North Olmsted, Ohio, which is called Seeing Double.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cocktail bar.
By the way,
super cute, super
they
fun.
have the best cocktails.
Yeah, like your cocktail will come out covered in glitter or like smoking.
Literally, when I tell you I had a dream about one of the cocktails I had there, and I'm like, where did I get this? And then you're like, we're doing true crime trivia again. And I'm like, oh my God, that's where I got it. I'm pretty sure it was called Persephone, which is a drink I got a couple weeks ago, and that's now my new drunk name. But
yeah, Emily's drunk name we decided is Persephone.
Just because I like it, and I think it's a cool name.
Yeah.
But they had this, it was like a hibiscus thing on the top of it.
Yeah.
Dude,
I remember that one.
it was so good,
Yeah,
and I hope they have it again.
For their trivia nights, they like theme the cocktails to go with that theme. So like they'll do true crime theme, which it'll be like a Bloody Mary or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, everything is very tastefully done, I think.
And their food is banging.
Yeah, it's really fun. So if anyone is like in the area and can come, last time we did it, one girl messaged us after. She's, I was there, but I didn't want to come say hi. I was like, bitch, what? I was
Why not?
I forgive you. I forgive you. I love you. I forgive you.
Maybe she'll come to this one, and then she can actually say hi.
She better, and I hope other people come. And I will tell you guys, no pressure. But if no one comes and it's just like random people that like always do the trivia nights and just my friends and stuff, I will cry. I do want to meet I really want to meet some of the listeners who are like, not people we know.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, I will cry. I'll wait till I get home, and you know what? I'll hit record before I do it, so you guys have to deal with the consequences of your actions. Okay, sorry. Third thing of business, and I know we're already going on 5 minutes, and this is a little bit of a story, so if you're just here for the actual true crime story, I'm going to put in an AI voice right now telling you what timestamp to skip to.
Skip to the 12-minute mark. Yes, I'm serious. This bitch is a fucking yapper. The story starts around the 12-minute mark.
Okay. Guys, I have a little bit of local lore for you, but I feel like you guys, I know Emily's going to get it because she's local, but I feel like you guys will have this, your own version of this local lore, and you'll know exactly what I mean. So where we're from, and we're not going to say where we're from, the city we grew up in, there was a man by the name of Bicycle Bob. Now, I've heard that this is like other people have bicycle bobs. I heard another podcast talking about this. It wasn't a true crime podcast. I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about this guy in their town called Bicycle Bob. I said, we have a Bicycle Bob, creepy man. Bicycle Bob is this
How many
man
Bobs are out there?
who, since I was a child, he's been 85 years old.
Dude,
you know what I
literally,
mean?
he doesn't age, and he's been the same age.
But he's old.
Yeah, he's been old for a very long time.
Yes, and he rides around on a bicycle wearing a bright neon vest, which safety first, okay?
Right. That's a new thing, I feel like. He didn't always have that, so maybe somebody must have...
Probably hit him. Someone probably hit him. But he's always riding around on a bicycle, and you see him just at the local hot spots, like the Speedway, you know?
Like the local gas station where everybody likes to go get their freezies.
Yeah, exactly. And you've seen him ever since you were a kid. And actually, I used to have a friend when I was in elementary school who lived right across the street from Bicycle Bob. And here's the thing about Bicycle Bob. Local legend has
He's an understood man, okay? I've heard very different stories about this man.
I have redacted the rumors because they were rumors spread by 12-year-olds 18 years ago, so we don't know if they're true, and it's possible Bicycle Bob is just a nice old man who happens to be very odd.
Okay. This is like, we're operating off zero facts and all like local
facts.
rumor of like what when we were 12 years old, this is
Yeah.
what people were saying. So
If you're from
allegedly,
where we live, there's no way you don't know who
yeah,
Bob is.
everyone
Like,
knows he is a local legend. And it's like he's always talking to everybody.
because he's just like the most friendly man.
Yeah. So here's the story. I'm at the grocery store today.
Did you see him there?
Oh, dude, I'm at the grocery store today, and I see Bicycle Bob still to this day. But I'm on my way to come record, so I stop at the grocery store. I have to pick some things up. And I'm back by the meat aisle in Giant Eagle, you know, like in the back of the store, okay?
Yeah, the crevice of Giant Eagle.
Yeah, and I just see two people on the little like scooter things, and they have obviously crashed into one another. And I say, oh no. Then I just get a peek of a third scooter coming out of the aisle, rams into them, backs up, rams into them, backs up, rams into them, keeps going.
What
I'm
is
like,
this? The Black Mirror Tesla of electric scooters?
I'm like, what is happening right now? Sir, stop going. He's like backing up and then just rams. I'm like, let them get out of the way first. So
Dude, what?
I'm walking past, and what do you know? The guy ramming them with the scooters is Bicycle Bob. Now, what's funny about this
He upgraded.
is Bicycle Bob doesn't need this little scooter because he'd be riding his fucking bicycle everywhere. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe the old age finally caught up to him.
No, I don't think so because he...
Do you think he rode his bike to Giant Eagle?
Yes. Yes. He doesn't live that far. He lives... I know where he lives.
Okay.
Because he used to be neighbors with my friend when we were kids.
Oh, okay.
And also I see him walking later in this story that I'm about to tell you.
Oh.
So that's the first time I see him out of probably
He's just
6 times.
coming to cause chaos. He said, let me go get another scooter.
Dude, literally, I was like, what is going on? And by the way, the other two people, I don't know if they were with him, but like they were also... It was like if you gave 14-year-old boys...
Did they all look stressed or were they having the time of their lives?
No, like... Neither. I can't describe it. It was just such a weird scenario. So then I'm like walking around or whatever, you know, getting my stuff. I got my car and I always put in a headphone because I actually hate going to the grocery store. It makes me want to die. And
same though.
It just gives me so much anxiety. I don't know why. So I always have one headphone in. I'm listening to a case in my earpod. All of a sudden I like hear hello. Turn over. Bicycle Bob's standing 2 feet from me. I'm like, where did your scooter go, sir? Hello. Just like looking me so deeply in the eyes with a tiny little head tilt, you know, that's just off-putting enough. And I'm like...
On top of the true crime podcast you're listening to in your ear.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it was like, there should have been a sound effect. You know, like when it came out. Done. Or, I don't know. I'll find a sound effect and put it here. Hello. That's the one. So I'm like, what is going on? So he's standing the second time I see him.
Where'd his car go? Did he put it back?
I don't know, Emily, but it's going to come back into play because 10 minutes later, he scoots right past me on his little cart.
Right. They see me rolling.
Almost runs over my toes. And I'm like, oh my God, Bicycle Bob.
We're going to have to upgrade his name to Electric Scooter Bob.
It doesn't have the same ring to it, though.
No, but he's not in a bicycle anymore.
No, I think he is. I think this is just for funsies. I think this is his social interaction. He's hanging out at the grocery store. I don't think he didn't have any shit with him.
Wait, so he
didn't have a cart.
This man made 3 separate appearances.
Yeah, and I haven't gotten to the 4th yet. There's at least a 4th one. I'm looking for ranch seasoning packets, which were like indescribably hard to find. And all of a sudden, I'm like kind of near the end of an aisle, and I'm just looking at the packets, and I just feel a gaze searing into my shoulder. I'm like, I already know what I'm going to see when I turn to look. I turn my head, look, standing at the end of the aisle, just like arms down at sides, staring, just silently staring at me. I'm like, dude.
He's probably like, I know you from somewhere.
Yeah, dude. And then he just says, hello again. But it was like after way too long. Like he doesn't say hello for 10 full ass seconds.
That would have been my cue to get the fuck out of the grocery store.
No, I looked at him with wide eyes and I looked back at the ranch packets and then I just never spoke to him again. And that was it. So it's kind of a shitty story, honestly. It's a bad story. Unless you have like a Bicycle Bob character in your town. If you guys have a Bicycle Bob man.
Can we do we need a little like...
Listener stories, email us about your version of Bicycle Bob. And he better have a fun name, and if he doesn't, you got to give him one. But yeah, so that's it. We're 15 minutes in, but I really needed to tell that story to Emily specifically, so I figured we'd record it. Okay. So now let's actually get into it because I know some people are so annoyed with us already.
No, they're not. That was a good story.
Today, I'm not even actually going to tell Emily right now what case we are talking about. I'm just going to start. This is going to be one of the ones where...
Am I going to know?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, okay.
Now, you guys obviously see the title. Some of you might know and some of you won't know and some of you will have a little bit of an inkling, but you'll be like, I don't really get it. So just trust me on this one. We're going to kind of start at the beginning. This is one of the craziest stories I've ever fucking heard in my life.
You know I love a crazy one.
Yes. So, 28-year-old Đoàn Thi Huong always wanted to be a star. Even as a young girl growing up in a rural village in the Nam Dinh region of Vietnam, she had huge dreams. Duan's parents were rice farmers, and as the youngest of 5 siblings, Đoàn worked with her family in her youth, but as soon as she was of age, she decided to ditch the beauty of the rice terraces for the city of Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. She enrolled in college as an accounting major at first, just like Emily did.
Hey.
I wonder if she was as bad at math as Emily is. Probably not. It's
hard to beat.
But just like Emily, she did not keep with the accounting major. However, instead of picking a new one, she decided to drop out altogether. And she began working in bars so she could focus her energy on what she really wanted, to become a star.
A star.
A star.
Yeah.
Now, Đoàn loved fashion and singing. She loved music. But really, it seemed like her main goal was to, like, be famous. And
she wanted to be a performer.
A performer. I think she wanted to be like a personality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we see that's kind of a career path now with like influencers and creators and reality stars and all of these people. That's really what she wanted. And at one point she did audition for Vietnam's Pop Idol TV show, which is like American Idol basically, but she didn't end up making it on the show.
Okay, not everybody.
Not
every audition can be great.
Mine would be worse, I'll tell you that.
Oh, 100%. You don't even want to hear mine.
Now, while she was disappointed, she didn't let this stop her from working towards what she had always wanted in life. She was not one to be fazed by, you know, a little bit of a setback. So in December of 2016, Đoàn ended up catching what seemed to be her first big break when she was approached by a local bar owner in Hanoi who told Đoàn that he wanted to introduce her to someone. And that someone introduced himself as Mr. Y. And he explained to Đoàn that he was a talent scout for a Japanese production company that basically made YouTube prank videos. Apparently, this is like a big thing in a couple of major Asian countries like Japan and China. Like prank videos are all the rage. And so this wasn't an odd thing. This was something that was a career path for people. There were like personality stars that were pranksters. That was their whole career path. Like I'm thinking like a Johnny Knoxville type of person, but like more pranks and less just hurting your own
like
nutsack.
punked.
Yeah, punked, yeah. So Mr. Y offered Đoàn a job as one of the pranksters in their newest YouTube show and offered to pay her $100 per month for her participation. Now, not only was this much more than she was making at the time, but she felt like this was the first real opportunity that she had to get her foot into the door of the entertainment industry. And so with that, she eagerly accepted his offer. Like she's super excited about this. Now, her first prank assignment took place in late December 2016 outside of Hanoi's Opera House, and she was told to kiss a stranger on the cheek as a prank. Now, that attempt failed only because the startled target dodged her at the last second. But nonetheless, Mr. Y praised her effort and prepared her for more funny video work abroad. And he actually asked her if she would be willing to travel abroad to other countries, you know, to do some of these prank videos. And she said yes, but he was going to have to pay her more. And hell yeah.
Smart girl, yeah.
Huzzah, Đoàn.
Hell yeah.
And so soon after, she finds herself flying to Malaysia in early February 2017, excited to be filming pranks in an international setting. And like you can imagine, if this is the career path you want to go down, and they're literally taking you to another country to do these videos, you're like, oh, I'm doing it.
Yeah, like I'm traveling for work. Hell yeah.
If someone sent me and Emily on a trip for the podcast right now, which actually was supposed to happen, and then we were supposed to get to go to California for our very first very big exciting brand thing, and then it got canceled. So that's really fun. Well, Emily didn't want to go anyway.
You know what? It was a fucking...
Emily wasn't going to go anyway. I was super excited,
injured.
And it did get canceled, and I didn't cry, so I'm really proud of myself. So when Đoàn arrived in Malaysia's capital of Kuala Lumpur, she was introduced to another woman who was named Siti Aisyah, who was going to be starring in prank videos with her. So this was another woman who worked for this Japanese prank video YouTube media company, basically. Okay. And Siti was actually a few years younger than Đoàn. I believe Đoàn was 28 at the time and Siti was 25. But other than that, the women didn't really know much about each other because Siti was from Java, Indonesia, and the two women spoke two different languages. They didn't have a language in common, so they couldn't really communicate beyond nice to meet you, you know, hello. Like seeing that. They couldn't really get a good background because they're using the men from the company to translate for them. Okay. And I don't really know what languages the men from the country, obviously they were speaking both of those languages, but I don't know if they also spoke English or how they were translating. But okay. However, we now know a lot more about Siti than Đoàn did at the time. So Siti grew up in a small village in a province called Banten. I know that's not how you fucking say it, but that's the pronunciation that I find online is it looks like it's Banten, the phonetic spelling. So it's reported that she began working in a factory when she was still very young. Some reports claim as young as 11 years old. A factory.
That's child labor, yep.
And this is not 1950.
This is YouTube era, yeah.
Yeah, this is 2000s probably, maybe late 90s. This was 2000s that she was 11. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Now, when she was just 17 years old, Siti ended up marrying the wealthy owner of that factory.
As a sports fan, I have to confess. Sometimes the game gets kind of boring. That's when I unfold my Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 and use multi-window viewing on its large screen. Boring game? I'm checking out my fantasy baseball league at the same time. Score still 1-0? I'm replying to emails in the other window, scoring points with the boss. Semifinals finally getting exciting? I'm buying tickets to the finals and booking my flights. Can your phone do that?
The new Galaxy Z Fold 7. Get yours at Samsung.com.
The #1 selling product of its kind with over 20 years of research and innovation. Botox Cosmetic, onabotulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
When she was 17, she married the owner of the factory that she started working in as a child, possibly as young as 11 years old.
So that's a lot.
So she has a rough go of it.
Sounds
Let's
like
put
it.
it that way.
Yep.
Now, she was hoping that this marriage would really be a path to a better life for her. Because obviously the man who owns this factory, he's a wealthy guy.
Yeah, he owns a
he's
factory.
older, he's wealthy, and
He's been paying her since she was 11, so.
Exactly. However, sadly, and I mean, I hate to say it, but kind of unexpectedly, because the man's a fucking pedophile, this marriage did not pan out as she had hoped. Siti's husband was harsh at best and at worst physically abusive. It kind of differs depending on the source that you're reading. But by 19 years old, she made the tough decision to divorce her husband. And
damn, good for her at 19. She's like,
19?
get me out of this fuck show.
But this was made even harder by the fact that they actually had a young son together. And when they got divorced, she lost custody of her son during the divorce. And the husband got the custody.
How does that work?
I don't know. I don't
Because
know if it had to do with like finances or what it was. There's really no detail on that out there. However, I do think that changes later on. And she still saw her son and everything like that for a bit. But
It's just weird that she wouldn't get custody because like she's the mom and he was abusive.
But this is also in Indonesia, so I don't know if it works differently there. I'm not sure.
Probably.
In the U.S., it would be more common. It's really hard for a mom to lose custody.
Yeah.
So she, at this point, was kind of left to be a lone soldier in the world once again at just 19 years old. And so she decides to move to Kuala Lumpur in search of work and really just in search of a better life. She worked as a shopkeeper for a bit, but she wasn't making much money doing that. And so she eventually gets a job as a masseuse, and it's reported that she was involved in sex work at this massage parlor. And I think this is something that she admits to, she says is true. Mm-hmm. And it seems like really this wasn't what she wanted for her life, but it was just the best of the bad options that were available to her at the time. So this is why when she was approached at a nightclub in early January 2017 by a man who said his name was James. So she's approached by James. She's offered a job on a YouTube prank show. And so
another one? Or is this
is the same one. Remember?
We did a recap. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I just went through one girl and now I'm going through the other. So she's excited because, again, this is a huge opportunity compared to what she's doing at the time. And James told her that she would be paid $100 per prank and that it was just going to be kind of like lighthearted, hidden camera antics that are popular on YouTube. It's nothing serious. You're not going to hurt anybody. You're not going to embarrass anybody. It's just, we're going to go spray water on this person type of thing. And then there's laughs. So the tasks seemed a little bit odd, but seemingly harmless. She would run up to random men. She would rub baby oil or pepper sauce on their faces and then run away as cameras filmed the men's pranks. So throughout January and early February of that year, she performed several of these pranks. She was practicing on unwitting strangers in malls and hotels around Kuala Lumpur. Each time, she was paid small sums, reportedly around $20 to $100 by the Japanese media company. And this basically was just reinforcing each time, okay, I do this little prank, no harm, no foul. It's funny, it's cute, it's recorded, and then I get paid, and all good.
Pretty good money,
right?
yeah.
Now, Malaysian police later confirmed that Siti had carried out at least 3 or 4 of these practice runs of this specific prank scenario, which is the rubbing of baby oil or pepper sauce on someone's face.
Okay.
And so they confirmed later that she did this at least 3 or 4 times in public places. So after Siti was introduced to Đoàn, the women performed the same prank together multiple times on multiple different targets. The women would have their hands covered in baby oil. Then one at a time, they would run up behind the target and cover the person's eyes from behind, almost like a Guess Who sort of gesture, if you can picture what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And so one girl would run up. She would rub the baby oil all over the person's eyes and face. She would run away. And the other girl would run up and do the same thing. And on the morning of February 13th, 2017, the girls were taken to the Kuala Lumpur Airport, where they were instructed to perform this same prank again. Their target was pointed out to them. It was a stocky, middle-aged Korean man in a pale blue jacket who was checking in at an airport kiosk. Đoàn went up first. She ran up to the man and she rubbed baby oil into his eyes from behind. Siti followed not long after, again, rubbing a liquid into the man's eyes. The encounter lasted only seconds before the women released him and they calmly walked away. They were walking quickly, but they were walking away casual enough. And eventually they both headed to separate bathrooms to wash their hands. Now, this man, he was immediately worried. He didn't really react like the others would react to this prank. And he stumbled over to an airport desk begging for medical attention. And while some may think this seems like a bit of an overreaction to a simple prank, this man had reason to be worried because he wasn't just anyone. He was Kim Jong-nam, the brother of North Korea's supreme leader, Kim Jong-un.
What?
And what appeared at first to be a bizarre prank gone wrong was in fact a brazen assassination carried out with a deadly chemical weapon in broad daylight.
Oh my God.
Within minutes, Kim Jong-nam was sweating, complaining of dizziness and vision loss. Airport medics rushed him to a clinic on a stretcher, but his condition deteriorated rapidly. He suffered seizures, and despite efforts to save him, he was pronounced dead en route to the hospital.
Damn.
Now, Jong-nam had been living and traveling under the alias Kim Chol. So at first, no one really had any idea of what a big deal this was. They didn't know who this man was at first. But it did not take long for authorities to realize that they were dealing with the assassination of a member of one of the most powerful Machiavellian dynasties to ever exist. So, to understand why Kim Jong-nam was targeted, we must first understand who he was. So sit your asses down and buckle up. It's history time.
Did it have something to do with his brother?
Yeah, it has something to do with his brother.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys know this about me. I love history. I really do. I find it so interesting. I mean,
quick question. What day was Pearl Harbor?
Emily, me and Emily got in a fight about what day Pearl Harbor was because I don't know. I don't think I've ever mentioned this on the podcast, but I lived on Oahu for 2 years. I went to school out there. And so I was so sure I'm right. And I literally was just trying to pwn Emily. I'm like, you stupid. Emily was right. Emily was right. And I was
right.
wrong.
So what day is it?
It's the 7th, right?
Yes.
Okay. I was saying it was the 6th.
Yes.
It was December 6th. Yeah, so I love history. I don't always get my dates right, but I find it really
she
interesting.
She can tell you what happened, which is more than I can do. So
yes. So history lesson. And I swear, if you guys are not history people, I promise you this shit is interesting. So don't worry, but buckle up. To understand who Kim Jong-nam was, we need to start a few generations back with his grandfather, Kim Il-sung. So Kim Il-sung was born in 1912 in Manchuria, and he was the founding leader of North Korea. He was involved in anti-Japanese resistance movements during Japan's occupation of Korea from 1910 to 1945. Now, by the 1930s, he joined the Communist Korean Workers' Party in Manchuria. And in the late 1930s, he became a member of the Korean People's Revolutionary Army, the KPRA. And this was basically a guerrilla group fighting the pro-Japanese, and they were supported by Soviet forces. So this is a communist party. Now, he gained military experience and he built his reputation as a leader in the KPRA. After World War II, Korea was liberated but divided into Soviet-controlled North Korea and U.S.-controlled South Korea. So this is where the division of North and South Korea began, was with the end of World War II. And basically, there's a zone in between that's like a couple miles wide, and that is the demilitarized zone. So that's the zone where you can't have...
zone.
It's the neutral
That's
zone in
Switzerland
between.
of wherever they are.
Exactly. Now, the Soviets, aiming to establish a friendly communist government in Korea, they supported Kim as the ruler of North Korea. And by the end of 1945, he was installed as leader of the Korean Communist Party in the North. Now, Kim's rise was contested by other communist leaders. By 1946, the Korean Workers' Party merged with other left-wing factions to form the Communist Party of Korea, the CPK. Kim eliminated rivals and built a cult of personality, is how it's described. The Cold War tensions between the Soviet Union and the U.S. left Korea divided. In 1948, North Korea was officially established with Kim Il-sung as their prime minister, which I thought was interesting because I've never heard the term prime minister associated with North Korea. I thought that was just a British thing, but apparently that's what he was called. And then somewhere down the line, they changed it to supreme leader. So by 1972, with Soviet backing, Kim became North Korea's president. Okay, so prime minister, president, supreme leader. His rule was marked by authoritarianism and, like I said, that cult of personality. Because really what it was is like he was basically like their original influencer. Like people before, leaders were all about their policies and about control and power, but they really built up in the perspective of the people who this person was in a way that hadn't been done before. That's my understanding. Any historians want to correct me, drop it in the comments. So in 1950, Kim, who again is supported by the Soviet Union and China at the time, invaded South Korea to try and unify the peninsula under communist rule. And this is what started the Korean War. Now, the Korean War in the US, we know a lot about because we were a big part of the Korean War, and it was a doozy. Let's put it that way from what I hear. But just in case anyone, I know we have some international listeners because woot woot. And
we're international, baby.
We're international.
Miss and Miss Worldwide.
Miss and Miss Worldwide. But yeah, so if anyone didn't know, this is how the Korean War started between North and South Korea. Now, the war did end in 1953 with an armistice, leaving North Korea under Kim's leadership. His power has been reaffirmed, and this has become a dictatorship. But the problem with that is there's really no clear successor for who's going to be the next leader. Like in a monarchy, you have a rightful heir, someone in the family who is the next in line. Or a democracy, we elect our leaders through votes. You don't have either of those in a dictatorship. So who's going to be the next leader it kind of gives the dictator the freedom to choose this person. But this lack of clarity can also lead to dangerous power struggles that are specifically dangerous for the current dictator because someone wants to take over power. How do you do it? Yeah. Now, these struggles often result in the dictator's assassination, like Emily said, as rivals and the named successor fight to take control. So really, it's kind of a dangerous thing to name your successor. But this is where Kim Il-sung did something very smart. He chose his own son as his successor, which apparently is an unusual move for dictators. I think the thought behind it is basically your own son is less likely to kill you, to take over, than like someone that's just one of your colleagues or the next most powerful person in the country.
Right.
So during his reign, North Korea faced significant economic hardship. Things started to get really bad under Kim Il-sung.
Really bad.
Yeah, really bad, to put it softly. So a combination of factors, which included natural disasters, economic mismanagement, and the collapse of the Soviet Union, which had been a key ally for North Korea, this led to a devastating famine in the 1990s. And the famine is estimated to have caused the deaths of hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of North Koreans. And because it's a dictatorship, it's really hard for anyone to know what that number really is. Because, I don't know how they prove this, but I think they're minimizing what that number may be. So there's a lot of estimation going on there, but some people think it could have been millions of people that are dying. Or I'm sorry, that died. So when Kim Il-sung died in 1994, his son, Kim Jong-il, took over, and this marked the start of what would become a long and often turbulent rule. Nicknamed the Dear Leader, Jong-il became the face of North Korea's cult of personality. Again, we're having this theme. It's passed amongst the leaders in the Kim dynasty. So on top of famine, Kim Jong-il's leadership was marked by a push for nuclear weapons development. Under his rule, North Korea conducted its first nuclear weapons test in 2006, defying international pressure. His regime prioritized military development, famously pursuing the military first policy, which put the military at the center of the country's economic and political focus. This strategy, however, further isolated North Korea from the international community. Because basically, the international community said, North Korea, you're not allowed to have nuclear weapons. You're not allowed. And they said, we're going to do it anyway.
They said, bet.
Now, guys, doing this case, I can't tell you, not only have I deep dived into a North Korea rabbit hole, my entire family.
You got them on the train.
Oh my God. All we're doing is texting each other facts about North Korea, sending links to videos. We're having we literally sat and watched a North Korea documentary on YouTube the other night for an hour.
I love that.
Because it is so crazy. And so when they talk about this military first policy, like you really cannot picture until you watch documentaries about North Korea, how intense this is. Like, I think of the U.S. as being very military first, very much like we have a lot of pride in our military. Don't fuck with the U.S. That's kind of our whole thing.
Yeah.
Not like North Korea, dude.
They said.
Which, by the way, if you watch videos of people who have escaped North Korea that worked in the military, they say their military ain't shit compared to the U.S. military, and I'm sure a bunch of other militaries in the world, but that's their thing. Is
for them, that's their focus.
So I watched one documentary where they go to North Korea just as tourists, and they have very strict rules for tourists. You have to stay with a guide. There's a hotel that you stay at. You go on a bus. They take you to certain excursions. You cannot leave the hotel by yourself. You cannot talk to people just on the street or anything like that. You're not allowed to talk to the local North Korean people. And they take you on these things, and it's all propaganda.
Yeah.
Like, they take them to see schools. Like, they go to schools, and the kids put on shows for them. Paintings in the hallway, murals of just atomic bombs and like Kim Jong-un with a huge military and bazookas and bombs and missiles in an elementary school hallway.
Just like war.
That's the painting. Just war. It's all war. And all of the songs are about how they have the it's like little 6-year-old kids singing songs about the H-bomb. Oh, we have hydrogen bombs. Kim Jong-un is our god, basically. That's what it is. That's another thing that I learned from this documentary that's interesting. And I'm sorry, this was not one of my sources for this episode. I'm going off rip, so I'm really sorry. I don't remember what the documentary was on YouTube. But I feel like this is common knowledge amongst North Korea. I don't want to say enthusiasts, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they, what was I going to say? I was talking about the kids, the songs. I don't remember. Fuck, it was good.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love, starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
My point is, guys, if you want me to do a deep dive on North Korea,
you're prepared.
I will. And if you don't want me to do it, I still might anyway. Because this shit is crazy. Because they all believe. Oh, I remembered what it was. They don't have religion there. There's no religion.
Because the one god is their leader.
Basically, the Kim dynasty is basically like their god. And I don't think it's stated that way as a religious thing. But I thought that was so interesting because I thought that it was going to be a really deeply religious state.
Like with monks and shit.
I just thought that they're, because I know it's so conservative, it's so buttoned up. I just thought that religion would be a huge part of it, but it's really not. They really worship Kim Jong-un and their leader. And they have no access to internet. They can't go on the internet.
Yeah, they have no media.
So they have no idea. I'm going to tell you some shit that they believe.
Amish.
No, it's not like Amish. It's so fucking far. It's so crazy. I'm going to get to some of the facts, but I really could go on about it for 5 hours, so I won't do that. But anyway, the point is, North Korea at this point, under Kim Jong-il's reign, became military first. Everything is focused on the military. That is what they take pride in. They take pride on nuclear weapons. They take pride on the hydrogen bombs. They take pride on all of these missiles, everything that they have. And Kim Jong-il really was just continuing his father's legacy of extreme political repression. And he maintained a strict totalitarian regime, which basically meant that the government is controlling every aspect of both public and private life, usually through oppressive means. So, for example, I guess just to give you, something to relate it to, Nazi Germany and Stalin's Soviet Union were totalitarian regimes. So I think Nazi Germany is obviously probably the most famous totalitarian regime, but your whole life is controlled by the government in North Korea. It's not just your job. It's not just, you're told what you're going to be when you grow up and what your job is and all of these things. It's every part of your life and how you live. Music is all, like, if you listen to music in North Korea, it's all about the political leaders and stuff. It's really crazy. Honestly horrific and so sad. It's very interesting to read about. But if you think about the way that these people live, it's terrifying. Now, the Kim family's control of North Korea remained absolute, with heavy censorship, widespread surveillance, and brutal punishment of political dissidents. One example that this is more modern day, I saw this in that YouTube documentary, but also every YouTube documentary about North Korea talks about it, is there was an American guy, I think he was very young, maybe like 20. I believe his name was Otto, and I can't remember, I think it was Warnbeer. But he went over to North Korea as a tourist, and he was accused of stealing a propaganda poster, which we don't know if he did. He was in prison for months. Then they televised him going to court where he's sobbing, begging for forgiveness. It was the worst mistake of his life. And all he wants to do is go home. And he was returned home in a coma and died. And it's believed that he was just tortured the entire time.
I do think I remember this.
For stealing a propaganda poster.
Yeah.
So when we talk about harsh punishments and political repression, that's the level that we're talking about. I'm sure everybody knows a lot about North Korea, but just to make that clear. Now, during Kim Jong-il's reign, labor camps became a hallmark of his regime, with reports of extreme cruelty in these facilities. And I don't know.
You don't fucking say.
If labor camps don't ring a bell, Nazi Germany. So we're seeing patterns across all three of these different totalitarian regimes. Mm-hmm. Now, the country also continued its focus on propaganda, of course. That's pretty much the way that you're going to stay in power. So with Kim Jong-il's image being omnipresent in the media, he is the Kim Kardashian of North Korea. He's all that the press can talk about. And really, the regime portrayed him as a superhuman leader. He was not a normal human being. He was a cult figure to be revered by the North Korean people. He was depicted as all-knowing, invincible, and the ultimate protector of the nation. He was credited with almost divine abilities, such as his supposed ability to control the weather and guide the country to prosperity, which, if you didn't hear about the famines, I don't think he did a good job of that. But yeah, apparently he could control the weather. And North Koreans were also told that Kim Jong-il was not only a genius, but he also possessed magical powers. Oh. One of the most widely circulated myths was that he actually never had to go to the bathroom because his bodily functions were perfect. And he was so superhuman that he had transcended the need for normal human activities, such as using the restroom.
I don't gotta go potty.
Can you imagine, like, he's in a meeting and he has to pee really bad? What does he do?
He doesn't.
Dude, he's just got to hold it. And
yeah.
But this is the thing is, like, there's that movie with James Franco and Seth Rogen, where they go over to North Korea and like they talk about that and they make I thought that was a joke. I'm like, that's hilarious. But what's crazy is that people in North Korea believe this. I
They
don't
believe that
know.
he doesn't have a waste disposal system in his body.
I don't know. I think there's no way to really know how common this belief is amongst the people. I am sure there are people there that realize it. But the thing is, when you have no access to internet,
Well, yeah, you don't know anything else.
You have no access to any knowledge outside of what the government is telling you. So if every textbook that you read was telling you that the supreme leader doesn't have to use the bathroom, why would you not believe that? That's what your grandparents have been told. That's what your parents were told. That's what you've been told. There is nothing written down anywhere that says that this is not true. And that's terrifying. It reminds me of a quote I put on my Instagram story last night. Voltaire, hold on, let me pull it up. Those who can make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities. So sit with that. Anyway, so this belief about Kim Jong-il now apparently also applies to Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un, if you don't know, is the current leader of North Korea. Kim Jong-il was his father. This belief still stands. That's why they're making fun of it in that movie, because they say that he doesn't have to go to the bathroom. But we're not done with talking about how amazing Jong-il was, because he was also said to be an incredible golfer. And he actually played a round of golf in which he made 11 holes in one. Hole in ones?
Yep.
Holes in one?
Hole in ones.
Hole in ones. Hole in ones. So he says he played a round of golf and he made 11 hole in ones on his first try. This was his first time playing golf.
Dude.
11.
That is.
And to that I say, why not 18, bitch?
You gotta make it somewhat believable,
I guess. But really, the claim was just made to demonstrate his godlike skills, and it became an iconic part of the propaganda about his perfection. There were songs written about his golf skills.
That's
and to top it off, he was said to have played the round with no practice and no prior experience. First time ever
He probably
swinging a
hits
club.
the ball and somebody goes and puts it in the hole.
Yeah,
You know?
literally, actually, that's probably it.
Yeah. So yeah, it can't be that hard to hit 11 hole in ones.
Yeah, that's actually crazy. Because that is, I mean, if you just control everyone and everything, you are kind of godlike in a way, you know?
Yep.
So Jong-il is not only the father of Jong-un.
You are the father.
He is not only the father of Kim Jong-un, the current leader, but he's also the father of the victim in today's story, which is Kim Jong-nam. So Jong-nam was born May 10th, 1971, and he was the eldest son of the longtime dictator Kim Jong-il. So Kim Jong-un, the current leader, was not the eldest son. In fact, he was the third-born son, which is really interesting.
Uh-oh, drama.
Now, in his early years, Jong-nam lived a life of privilege and of secrecy. His mother, Song Hae-rim, was a famous actress, and she was the mistress, basically, of Kim Jong-il. And as a child, Jong-il was schooled abroad in Moscow and Geneva, so he got to get out of North Korea. He got educated elsewhere.
Yeah.
He learned about other cultures. He learned a little bit about the world. I'm sure it was still extremely controlled, but it was more than you were ever going to get in North Korea. Now, he grew fluent in foreign languages, and he was really exposed to life and culture outside of what people call online the hermit kingdom, which I thought was a funny term. Now, in the 1990s, he was widely seen as the obvious heir to his father. He's the firstborn son of the dictator. He's born and bred for it. We're gonna breed him up, make him the leader. And North Korea had been ruled by the Kim family since 1948. So it seemed destined to pass leadership onto the next generation of the Paek-2 bloodline, which is the Paek-2 refers to the Kim's family lineage, but almost in a mythical way. Like the Paek-2 bloodline this is a superhuman bloodline. I don't know why it has a different name rather than just the Kim name, but I just thought that was really interesting. So for a time, Kim Jong-nam held senior posts in the government, and he was being groomed to succeed Kim Jong-il. This was known by everyone. However, Kim family politics is a perilous Game of Thrones. Kim Jong-nam's fortunes took a dramatic turn in 2001. That year, he was caught attempting to enter Japan on a fake Dominican passport under the name Pong Xiong, which translates to fat bear in Mandarin. So he's trying.
I'll own it.
So he's trying to enter Japan using a fake Dominican passport under a name that translates to fat bear. Interesting.
Right.
Interesting. Like, why wouldn't you pick a name from that country? Right. Anyway, but he's got a sense of humor. I feel like
I like it.
I kind of wonder, was that like his nickname from his buddies or what? Because I don't know. Now, Emily, do you have any guesses why the apparent heir to the North Korean dictatorship may be trying to enter Japan using an alias?
He's seeking extradition or whatever that's called. And
that's a good guess. That's a really good guess. I feel like that's a good guess. I was kind of expecting maybe, there's an assassination plot. Maybe he's going to, commit an act of war. He's trying to gather intelligence, but none of the above. And honestly, don't worry about it because you never would have guessed what I'm about to fucking tell you.
Should I know this?
No, you shouldn't know it. Kim Jong-nam was desperate to enter Japan because he really wanted to visit Tokyo Disneyland.
Oh, dude, I have heard it's pretty fucking fire. So
I bet it is fire.
I don't blame him.
And he would later claim that he wanted to go for the sake of his young son. He was trying to bring his son to Tokyo Disneyland. Now, no matter the reason, this escapade was absolutely mortifying to the Kim regime for a few reasons. So first of all, the incident exposed major cracks in the regime's tight control over its citizens, who, by the way, are not allowed to leave the country. That does not happen.
And then you have the oldest son of the heir trying to leave.
The most highly watched and protected, like one of the most highly watched and protected citizens was able to sneak out under a fake name. So, of course, the North Korean people probably have no idea that this ever happened, but it made North Korea look like a fucking laughingstock to the rest of the world. Everyone was just like, thought it was, it's hilarious. Really, dude? Like, the most locked down country on earth. And
right,
one
all
of the
that,
leaders.
And he was able to just, excuse me, let's
Exactly.
go to Disneyland.
So, to make matters worse, not only was he able to sneak out of North Korea, but he also did so to travel to Japan, which was a longtime enemy of North Korea. If you remember when I was talking about his grandfather, like, they weren't getting along, okay?
They weren't buddies.
But really, the cherry on top of all of this was that the reason he wanted to go to Japan was to visit Disneyland. And Disneyland is really an unbeatable symbol of American capitalism, which is seen as pure evil by the Kim regime. Because if you don't know, these United States of America and our capitalist culture are the number one enemy of North Korea.
Yeah.
And I'm not fucking around when I say that. Watch some YouTube documentaries about North Korea. All they talk about is how they hate the Americans. And the Americans are like evil, and Kim Jong-un is going to protect them from the Americans. And that's why they have all of these bombs and weapons and all of these things.
Damn.
And one thing that I found really interesting was they actually have a museum called the Sinchon Museum of American War Atrocities. And
It's just pictures of us getting blown up.
No. It's pictures of us blowing them up.
Oh, to make them, okay.
So it's basically supposed to be scenes from the Korean War. There were major battles, major atrocities committed in this area called Sinchon. And every single child in the entire country of North Korea is taken to this museum of American war atrocities on a school field trip.
Show them how bad the Americans are.
Yes.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso Virtual Coffee Machines. Ready to enjoy the bold flavors of barista-quality Nespresso iced coffee at home? Simply fill a glass with ice and press the brew button on your virtual pop machine to enjoy rich double espressos roasted to stand up even when chilled. Refreshingly bold iced coffee. Refreshingly easy to make at home. Visit Nespresso.com to shop now.
It's Wednesday, Adams. I see you're trying to distract yourself from your own banal thoughts. Let me help. Here's a recording thing made of my latest root canal.
Wednesday, Season 2, begins August 6th, only on Netflix.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Damn.
Now, I've seen footage of this museum. It is buck fucking wild.
Damn.
It's like paintings of women being brutally raped, limbs being torn apart, babies being torn apart, and all of these things, by Americans. And they're taking young school children there, like elementary school kids, primary school.
Censorship? We're going to show you everything.
No. And while I don't know the details, honestly, of the Korean War, and I'm sure that there were atrocities committed on all sides, and I'm sure the Americans committed some, it seems a little bit extreme.
Biased, yeah.
It seems a little extreme. And even, let's say it was perfectly accurate, which I just don't think it is, but I don't know the details on that. To take school children to see these paintings of women being brutally raped is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but they're
Talk
instilling
about childhood
fear.
trauma. Yeah, literally.
They're instilling fear, and it's, well, you should be so thankful for our supreme leader saving you from the Americans, because this is what the Americans want to do to
That's
you.
Crazy.
And not to say that, there's bad people everywhere and armies do bad things, you know what I mean? But it's to another level.
It's like extreme, yeah.
It's very, very extreme. I think that's kind of what the North Korean...
That's what they were hoping for?
That's what they're known for, a little bit of extremity, if anything.
Sounds about right.
Since the Korean War, the U.S. has been seen as an imperialist threat, especially due to its military presence in South Korea, the economic sanctions, and the opposition to North Korea's nuclear program. This hostility is also fueled by North Korea's ideological commitment to self-reliance and its use of anti-American rhetoric to justify its regime and maintain control. To really get people behind your leader, you have to have an enemy. And Kim Jong-nam's once bright future, because of this trip to Disneyland that was the epitome of American capitalism, this future that he had evaporated.
Out the window.
Bye-bye. He didn't even see it leaving the room. And
I really just wanted to go to Disneyland.
Well, and you know what's fucked up? He never even made it to Disneyland.
Oh, no. That sucks.
Kim Jong-il, his father, was furious, of course.
He was probably pissed.
Oh, he was...
your birthright, fucking say goodbye.
Say goodbye. And rumors were swirling that Jong-nam's rivals seized on the blunder. They were like, this is our fucking chance to get in there.
They're like, oh, family drama? Ooh.
Yep. And in particular, some accounts suggest that Ko Young-hui, which was one of Kim Jong-il's later wives and the mother of Kim Jong-un, saw this as her fucking chance to leverage this incident to promote her own son's succession, even possibly tipping off...
She's just, my kids didn't try to leave the country.
Yeah, she's like, I have a supreme leader for you. And some people even speculate that she was the one that tipped off Japanese authorities about Jong-nam's travel to Japan.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Who knows, though? Who knows? Now, regardless of the behind-the-scenes maneuvering, Kim Jong-nam was disgraced and he was passed over. Like, he's done for. And his younger half-brother, Kim Jong-un, became the new chosen successor, despite being nearly 2 decades younger than Jong-nam.
Damn, that's gotta really hurt.
Yeah. Now, after 2001, after this attempted trip to Disneyland, Jong-nam slipped into a life of exile. He was basically like... He didn't just lose his position. Like, he is getting kicked out of the country. Like, go elsewhere.
They said, you're done.
So he spent most of his time in Macau, a Chinese territory known for its casinos. And there, Jong-nam lived very comfortably, even lavishly, for years. He was often spotted in the city's glitzy casinos, earning a reputation as a playboy with a taste for gambling and fine living. He kept multiple homes in places like Macau, Beijing, and Singapore, traveling frequently to Europe and Southeast Asia. So he's fucking living it up.
So he's actually doing better than he could have been.
This is, personally...
a blessing in disguise.
If you gave me, do I want to be Jong-nam or Jong-un? I would go with Jong-nam.
Same.
Preferably, I'd like to be neither.
Also same.
I like being me, you know?
Yeah, and like the freedom to
also,
do whatever.
though, like, if we were Jong-nam and Jong-un, we could free the people of North Korea. We could try. We might get killed doing it. I would try, though.
I would try it, but I think
I would cry the whole time. I'd be scared, but I would try. So he's basically living it up in exile, and he never publicly contested his brother's rule, but he did voice occasional criticisms. In email interviews with journalists and conversations with acquaintances, Kim Jong-nam expressed opposition to North Korea's succession and its economic mismanagement. Notably, in 2012, he was quoted as saying that he was against a third-generation succession, a clear reference to Kim Jong-un taking power. So he never really tried to get his position back, but he was also like talking to reporters, which is just an absolute no-no for North Korean leaders. But on top of just talking to reporters, he's like saying, also this third generation succession, I don't think we should do it. Well, so you're saying Jong-un shouldn't take power. So he also allegedly told a Japanese journalist that the regime would not last under his brother's leadership. Such remarks, however mild, branded him as an embarrassment to Pyongyang at best and at worst a potential threat. Pyongyang is the capital of North Korea. I don't think I explained that, and I'm going to talk about it a lot. So in theory, Jong-nam's very existence was a threat to Kim Jong-un. For one, Jong-nam had a direct bloodline claim as the eldest son of Kim Jong-il. In the eyes of traditionalists in North Korea's elite, Kim Jong-nam could have been viewed as the true heir. Which, again, it's not a monarchy, so there really isn't a true heir.
It's like whoever he feels like picking.
Right, but if people don't want Kim Jong-un, it's really easy for them to say, no, that doesn't make sense. It should be the eldest son.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just really...
Man, this guy just does not give a fuck, though. I'm going to try to leave the country. I'm going to go live my life, do whatever the fuck I want. And then I'm also going to talk shit on my little brother, who should not be in my job.
Exactly. And it's really crazy because, like, it really is just like a modern Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It's a modern Game of Thrones with, like, way less beautiful, more, like, brutalist architecture instead of the beautiful scenery you see in Game of Thrones.
Maybe a little bit less dragons.
Yeah, and less dragons. As far as we know.
As far as we know, you know?
Maybe they got some dragons, dude.
They probably fucking do. One of the Kims is a dragon.
Oh, yeah, they're riding dragons.
For sure.
For sure.
They got pets.
Now, Chinese authorities allowed Kim Jong-nam to reside in their territory, and according to some intelligence rumors, they kept in contact with him. Some analysts believe that Beijing saw him as a potential backup leader who could be installed in Pyongyang to ensure stability if Kim Jong-un fell. Though Jong-nam himself didn't appear to seek political power at all, this gave geopolitical weight to Jong-nam's life, whether he wanted it or not. He was a pawn in the great power dynamics of East Asia, a pawn that had the potential to get in Kim Jong-un's way and therefore needed to be eliminated. Cue Emily doing Harry Potter chess game impression.
Not me. Not Hermione. You. I had to think about it. I was like, what am I cueing? I was like, oh, it came to me.
Not me. Not Hermione. You. Anyway.
No, Ron, you can't.
What's after that? Dude, do you guys ever see the TikToks when people turn that into a fucking club mix?
Yes.
Wait, bring that back.
Yeah.
Bring that back. Dude, if
Snape, Severus Snape, Dumbledore.
No, not that one.
Oh my God, that one's the original.
No, but I want you, and then the fucking beat drops. Me and Emily are going to Paris, and we're going to hit the club.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited to club.
And I don't know that the club takes requests, but if the club takes requests, that's what I'm requesting. Genuinely.
Dude, I'm excited for that.
Imagine being in the
club.
6th floor.
That's what I'm saying. I'm so excited for that multi-level
There's a
one.
club in Paris that is 6 stories tall. And like the bottom story is obviously the whole floor. And then the next 5 are like, there's balconies overlooking the main dance floor.
When I tell you I'm so fucking excited.
Imagine that 6th floor fucking club.
Not me. Not Hermione. You.
I mean, that would be a religious experience.
Soul awakening. Yes.
Life would be so downhill from there.
You know what?
That's peaking.
And that's okay. That's gonna be my peak in this year. So
I'm ready.
I'm looking forward to it.
Anyway, so sorry.
Moving on.
Skirt. Okay. So friends
back on the road.
Friends of Jong-nam said that as time went on, he began to grow more and more paranoid because he knows that he needs to be eliminated. And he always understood the danger of his position, but that only increased in 2011 when Kim Jong-il, despite his superhuman abilities and his perfectly operating body, succumbed to illness that he had battled for years, and he dies.
Just festering from the inside.
Yeah, dude, don't let those bowels fester, guys.
Go potty when you got to.
Soon after taking power, Kim Jong-un began purging potential rivals. Not even family members were safe. Kim Jong-un's own uncle and mentor, Jang Song-taek, was executed in 2013 on treason charges.
Uh-oh.
Many saw Jang's execution as a clear warning to anyone in the Kim family with independent power. Kim Jong-nam, living abroad, reportedly stepped up his personal security and kept a low profile. According to South Korean intelligence, North Korean agents had attempted to assassinate Kim Jong-nam at least once before. In fact, South Korea's National Intelligence Service later revealed that Kim Jong-nam sent a letter to Kim Jong-un in 2012 pleading for mercy. He begged his younger brother to, quote, please spare me and my family, end quote, after an alleged assassination plot was uncovered. So he's begging.
Damn.
He's just let me live, dude.
What a scary way to live your life. Like, suddenly all of my problems seem very small.
Yeah, that's actually terrifying. Now, for 5 years, from 2012 to 2017, North Korean hit squads were actively hunting Kim Jong-nam, according to intelligence reports. So basically, it was like a wanted dead or alive, like Bolo. Oh. Well, actually, wanted dead. There was no or alive. To me. Yeah, it was just like, you guys, whoever kills him, hell yeah, brother. Like you're gonna get rewarded for that, pretty much.
Shit.
And while his mere existence was enough to make him a target, even more reasoning came out after his death. Because, of course, we all kind of know that he has the ability to contest the power. But I think there was a question mark on, well, why now? Why did they really hunt him down at this point? So in June 2019, which was well after he was assassinated, the Wall Street Journal reported that Kim Jong-nam had been meeting with CIA operatives and was a CIA informant in his final years. Oof. According to that report, Jong-nam was in Malaysia in February 2017 specifically to meet a CIA contact. Because remember, in Malaysia at the airport is where he's killed. U.S. officials later played down how much useful intelligence Jong-nam could provide, since he really had no role in Pyongyang's inner circle at that point in time. He had been shunned for years. But even the hint of collaboration with the United States was like, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. By now, I think we all understand why Jong-nam was killed. At least I hope so. And if not, I kind of fucking suck at this, and I should probably just quit now.
Math, you put the math in there, and it was mathin'.
Was it? I hope it wasn't too much history. Sometimes I'm like, I go too hard, but I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, scary.
And I think I'm gonna have some more North Korea stories coming soon. I was gonna do the next, I already have 2 cases picked out, and I'm like, no, I can't do a month of North Korea. That's too much. I'm gonna space them out. So.
Welcome to August. It's North Korea month.
Yeah, happy North Korea Awareness Month.
Happy
because
NK.
I wish we could help these people. It's honestly fucked up. But also, it is funny that they're just telling people that they don't have to take a shit. Like that is to just make the people believe that
you know how much of an inconvenience it not is only for does you my to have shit to use the potty, right?
Yeah,
he doesn't have to.
Like, not only does my shit not stank.
He don't got no shit.
I don't got no shit. That's crazy.
No shit to stank.
No, there's no shit to stank, dude. But basically, his fate was set in stone. And at that point, it was time to plan how he would be assassinated.
I'm sorry, I'm just picturing,
no, you're good.
Maybe he just had the worst fucking IBS and, he just had the worst stomach problems. But, instead of that being his narrative, they said he actually doesn't poop.
Well, can we just spread the rumor that every North Korean leader that's died, not the ones that are assassinated, obviously, but Jong-il and Il-sung, they died from tummy problems.
Yeah.
Can we spread that rumor?
Yeah.
I don't know what it actually was. I think it was illnesses. I don't know what they were.
Well, it can't be
but
good
I'm gonna
if
go
you're
with
not going to the bathroom.
I'm going to go with tummy problems, allegedly.
How do you top your love for your cat? With a cascade of decadent savory gravy over a mouth-watering mousse pate. Fancy Feast Gems. 2 gourmet pâtés in 1 convenient pack. Simply peel and plate to reveal a pyramid shape that makes eating delightful and pamper her with an experience as extraordinary as she is. Turn the everyday into the extraordinary with Fancy Feast Gems.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there is one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at friskies.com or visit your local store.
Hey, this is Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast, here to help you make the most of your summer with Michelob Ultra, a superior light beer worth playing for. Play for it with the guys when you're competing to see who can sink more birdies on the golf course, because Winning tastes even better with Ultra on the line. Play for Ultra. Fill your fridge with Michelob Ultra this summer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
I say allegedly like that's going to stop North Korea from being mad at me.
Yeah. They said this bitch on a podcast?
Right.
Talk about our tummy problems?
Dude, what if we just become
the target?
The target. Just kidding. They've got bigger issues. They've got bigger and oranger issues to worry about than us.
Not that they be frying fish, but they got some.
Yeah. Now, his fate is set in stone. But really, the question mark is, well, how are we going to do this? Because direct violence like shooting him or kidnapping him or stabbing him or whatever, this immediate exposure and diplomatic fallout, because this is a geopolitical issue, this man's life, even though he just seemed to be a big gambler that likes to go to Disneyland. Now, personally, I don't really feel like this poisoning was much stealthier than a shooting or a stabbing. Like, it was a big dramatic scene in the middle of an airport.
Well, didn't they film it too for YouTube?
Well, I don't think they actually filmed it. I think they
Oh.
said that they had filmed things prior to this, though.
Okay.
Really, I think the goal was plausible deniability. They knew everyone was going to know it was North Korea who killed him, but they wanted plausible deniability. They wanted people to believe that there's a 1% chance that maybe it was like an enemy of North Korea who did it or something like that. I don't really know the thought process. This is just me guessing. But if a North Korean operative was caught with a literal smoking gun, there was no plausible deniability.
Right. Yeah. They'd be like, oh, who done it? You did.
So the weapon that they chose was as insidious as it was lethal. They decided to go with VX nerve agent, which sounds so made up from a James Bond movie.
I was going to say,
but
that
it's
sounds
real.
like Spy Kids.
But it's real. And what it is a chemical warfare agent that has been banned by international treaties.
Oh my God,
So,
it's
like,
Agent Cody Banks.
you're not allowed to have, it's not allowed. The world says it, not just one country. The world says you're not allowed to have this. But of course, North Korea does not care. So VX is a colorless, odorless, oily liquid so potent that a drop can kill. And my question is VX aqua tofana?
Uh-oh.
Remember, colorless, odorless, tasteless.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
They gave her a new name.
But I don't know. This seems like really like you actually can't even fucking touch it or you will die.
Yeah, what happened
Genuinely,
to the girlies that did this and had to wash their hands? How are their hands doing?
we're gonna talk about it. So basically what it does is it causes uncontrollable muscle convulsions and respiratory failure because your lungs are muscles. So it basically kills you within minutes by asphyxiation. You just asphyxiate because
you just stop breathing.
Yeah, because your lungs, they're just convulsing. And the use of VX in an international airport was a bold violation of chemical weapons norms, seemingly calculated to send a message of terror. Because again, this is banned by pretty much the whole world.
Yeah.
Like
They said,
you are
let's
not
go big or
allowed
go
to
home. We're North Korea.
Well, that's the thing that's why I think plausible deniability here was important because this is this kind of thing where even though they killed one of their own people, technically, if this was done wrong and like other people were killed, this is the kind of thing that I don't know that it would lead to war, but it could lead to retaliation from other governments because it's banned by the world.
Yeah.
Now, North Korea needed not only a weapon, but they needed hands to deliver it. So they turned to a time-tested espionage tactic, recruiting foreign nationals to do their dirty work, providing the regime with that plausible deniability that we've been talking about. So they were like, we need to deliver this, but we're not going to have the North Korean people deliver it.
Yeah, it's not going to be us doing it.
And so they get Siti and Đoàn.
They said, can we travel? And they said, you sure can. We prefer it, actually.
Over the months leading up to February 2017, North Korean operatives carefully recruited and trained 2 women from Southeast Asia to execute the poisoning. The women would later tell the story as I told it to you at the top of the show, insisting that they had no idea that they were being groomed as assassins and claiming they truly believed that it was just a reality TV prank.
Yeah, it was just a game show.
They truly believed that they were just performing a YouTube prank. At least that's what they claim.
Scary.
Which, my opinion, I believe these women.
Yeah, me too.
Some people don't believe them. Some people think that they're like fucking spies. I don't think they are. I think they truly thought that they were on a Japanese YouTube prank show and they ended up assassinating one of the leaders in North Korea.
That's fucking nuts.
Talk about an original experience.
Talk about a switch up.
Like, that's fucking crazy.
Shit.
So,
do you put that on your resume? What the fuck?
I mean, honestly, it's kind of,
it's pretty top tier up there.
Yeah. Now, on the day of the assassination, the women were not alone. Multiple North Korean agents were on the ground to coordinate. Among them, according to the Malaysian police, was an operative using the alias James. This is the man who recruited Siti.
Yep.
James is not his real name. I don't know what it is, but he's from North Korea. And one of the other operatives was Mr. Y, who recruited Đoàn. Which I feel like, why wouldn't you go with Mr. V and Mr. X? Because VX nerve agent, have
sounded like they were
drop a little Easter egg.
What do you want to be? I'm thinking James. The other guy's probably Mr. Y. Sounds great.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not very original.
But these two men were accompanied by at least two others who provided logistics and surveillance. The man referred to as Mr. Y was later identified as Ri Jiang. I'm not 1,000% confident on that one because I didn't put the phonetic spelling, but I feel like I've learned so much about tonal languages today. And by the way, guys, I'm really doing my best. These are tonal languages, and I don't speak a tonal language, so it really adds an extra level of difficulty to the pronunciation. So just be nice to me. But basically, this guy, Mr. Y, is a confirmed North Korean agent. Like, this is something that is international intelligence units, they know who this guy is.
Oh.
In the movie, they would have had the computer zoom in on him with all the data all over the screen, and they would be scanning his face like, this is Mr. Y. He's known from this, this, and that. You know what I mean?
They have a profile on him.
Yeah, with the Kim Possible sound effects in the background. Beep, beep. Now, the broader plan, as later reconstructed by investigators, was carefully orchestrated and timed around Kim Jong-nam's travel schedule. Kim Jong-nam had flown into Kuala Lumpur on February 6, 2017 for a brief trip, possibly to meet someone, as the CIA theory suggests, or simply for personal business. The plotters tracked his movements, and when they learned that he planned to depart from Kuala Lumpur International Airport on the morning of February 13th, they set their plan in motion. Before the day of the assassination, the women continued to do prank runs in Kuala Lumpur, just like in public places. And it's possible that they even did one at the airport before this. CCTV later revealed that in the days leading up to the murder, Đoàn and Siti had performed dummy runs, approaching strangers and smearing liquids on them in public under the guidance of those same North Korean handlers that they thought were Japanese guys from the media company. These exercises, which, by the way, I stated that wrong. They thought they were guys from the Japanese media company. I'm sure that they knew that these men weren't Japanese. But these exercises served as a dual purpose. They were training the women's muscle memory, and they were demonstrating to them that the substance caused no harm. They were basically just doing it over and over so the women knew what to do. They were like practice sessions, and they were just comfortable doing it because they just thought it was a fun little prank. And they kind of just thought, this was benign. It was just a job. The North Korean agents also meticulously prepared the weapon. VX nerve agent is so lethal that carrying it in pure form would endanger the attackers themselves. Like, they're not just carrying around VX. Experts later theorized that the assassins employed a binary application, meaning each woman was likely given a chemical component that was relatively non-toxic on its own, but when mixed together on the target's skin, the components would react to form VX. That's why one woman would go up first, rub her hands on the guy, and then the second woman would go up after. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah, that's wild.
This would explain a key mystery, how the women could handle the poison on their bare hands and not die or even really fall ill. Now, Pyongyang's embassy later scoffed that if VX had been truly used, the assailants and bystanders should have been fatally contaminated too. But likely by splitting the precursor chemicals between two people, the North Korean masterminds minimized the risk to their operatives and maximized potency upon combination. So North Korea's being like, can't be VX. Those women would be dead, basically.
Yeah.
But it could be VX. And we're later going to hear that the woman, I can't remember which one went second, but she did get sick. Like, she got sick from this.
I was going to say the second one, I mean, she's the one that mixed it, right?
Basically. And we're 90 minutes in. So we're going to pause there. And this is going to be a two-parter. I didn't expect it to be, but I had so much to say on North Korea.
Let's go, two-parter.
So this is going to be a two-parter. I know this episode isn't 90 minutes for you guys because we cut so much shit out because you guys don't understand, especially today. I'd be stumbling through. I'm literally, I can't believe I didn't break bones tumbling through these words today. And it's not even the pronunciations. It's just basic English that I've been struggling with, like genuinely.
The usual words.
But yeah, this is going to be a two-parter. I hope you guys are enjoying it. This is a little bit different than what we normally do, but I think it's so interesting.
Yeah.
So we'll be back next week with part 2. We're going to talk more about the assassination. And I know you guys are like, we already know what's up. We already know what happened. No, there's more coming. Then we're going to talk about the aftermath because we're going to talk about these women who claim that they were tricked into assassinating Kim Jong-nam. And some people don't believe them. Like I already kind of gave it away. I personally believe them mostly.
Yeah, I allegedly believe them.
There are some things that you're like, huh. And we're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about the trials. We're going to talk about everything that happens after it. And it's going to be just as interesting. And now I'm going to have a few days to like maybe add to this. So maybe I'll throw in some more crazy shit about North Korea.
Hell yeah. Keep it coming.
All right. Well, for now, court is adjourned. Hopefully we'll see you guys next week. Okay, court is adjourned for now. Bye.
Bye.
Now, if you guys love the pod, make sure you're following us wherever you're listening so you don't miss out on any future episodes.
And while you're at it, we'd be forever in your debt if you had left us a 5-star rating.
For more content from us, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Both are at A Trial by Podcast.
You can also follow us on our Facebook and join our Facebook group.
You can shop our merch by clicking the link in the show notes or visiting our website, atrialbypodcast.com.
A Trial by Podcast is a fully independent podcast. If you'd like to help support us, you can do so by donating through the link in our show notes.
The site we use for this is called Buy Me a Coffee, but don't worry, your donations will never be used for coffee or frivolous things, only for expenses related to running and growing the podcast. So thank you guys for your support.
Thank y'all. Huzzah.
Huzzah.